What up, what up? Today we're going through the alternatives out there to GoFundMe. If you want to raise money for a personal cause, for medical expenses, for memorial fund, for travel costs, for education or tuition, there are many websites out there that you can now do that with. And who am I? Why am I credible to talk about this topic? One, I put together the step-by-step guidebook, Crowdfunding Personal Expenses. This is from my experience, having interviewed people, having learned a lot about marketing and also the personal crowdfunding arena. I'll include a link to that if you want to check out that Amazon book. It's pretty inexpensive, and I go through in the guide how to market your campaign, how to get people to actually check out your campaign, how to get donations, like all that kind of stuff I put into this guide. So that's one of the reasons, but I also, before we get into this video and some of the alternatives out there, I want to highlight something that I think not many people know about, but it's actually like a killer resource, and that's peer-to-peer lending. So what actually is peer-to-peer lending? I'm pretty sure you might not have heard of it because I'm one of the writers on this topic, and I do know that many people, I get blank stares when I talk about this. So peer-to-peer lending, there are sites out there like LendingClub, like Upstart, and like Prosper. And what you can use these sites for are you can get an unsecured personal loan. They have lenders and there are borrowers. You are a borrower if you're listening to this video. Lenders out there lend money in an aggregate form. It's kind of like a marketplace, and borrowers can then take out a loan for a variety of costs. Could be business expenses, could be personal expenses, could be anything really. So you can then take out a loan and then you'll pay back these people who have invested in you. So you can use a site also like Upstart where rather than just taking into account your credit score, they also take into account your education history when giving you a rate for that loan. So why does this matter? I think it matters because we see credit cards that are just charging enormous sums. If you want to use your credit card, you're getting like what, 18% interest, like ridiculous sums. With a peer-to-peer lending loan, you're actually gonna get a really low rate of interest. And that's why lots of people actually use peer-to-peer lending sites like LendingClub, Upstart, Prosper to pay off their credit card debt, to refinance their credit card debt, and to consolidate their outstanding debt. So I'll include links to those sites in the description down below, but I did want to give that as a primary alternative option. If you're having trouble with crowdfunding, you can also go out there and you can get a loan and then you can pay that back. But let's get into some of the alternatives to GoFundMe that are out there. The first one is YouCaring. And YouCaring was founded in 2011, and they've thus far enabled fundraisers to raise over $500 million using their platform. That is a ridiculous sum. It's amazing that more and more people are raising money for personal costs online, and YouCaring is one of the top options out there. They do differ a little bit than GoFundMe in the fact that GoFundMe charges a set 5% fee for the actual person raising money. If you raise money, they're taking a cut. With YouCaring, you actually don't pay any fees. It's free crowdfunding. I mean, I put that in parentheses because there is actually a charge that's happening. They're going to charge you for the payment processing costs, and they're also going to ask your donors to make a donation to their crowdfunding website. So they're going to solicit your donors and say, hey, you're donating to Larry's campaign. Would you also be willing to donate $5 to help to support the costs of running a crowdfunding campaign platform? A platform with all of the server costs, with all of the website costs, etc. So YouCaring is financed in that way. The second website is Give Forward. And Give Forward is a bit more similar to GoFundMe in that they charge a flat fee based on the amount of money that you have raised. And that amount is 5% and also a payment processing fee. A little bit also similar to GoFundMe is that this is a community where people have raised a substantial amount of money online. On Give Forward, people have raised over $190 million using online fundraising for personal crowdfunding campaigns. These are tuition costs, education, personal expenses, medical expenses. A lot of different areas here have all been raised on Give Forward. One important thing to note is that Give Forward will actually allow your donors to cover their fees. And according to the website, 95% of donors decide to cover the fees of running your crowdfunding campaign. Finally, the The last website I'm going to be mentioning on this video is Generosity. And Generosity was actually started by Indiegogo, which is another type of crowdfunding website. You can use Indiegogo to raise money for a venture, for a creative project of some kind. You wouldn't really use it though for a personal crowdfunding campaign. You would use Generosity. Generosity is kind of similar to YouCaring in that they don't charge an outstanding fee depending on the amount of money that you've raised. Like they're not saying, we're going to charge 5% of all this money that you've raised. Instead, they enable what's called free crowdfunding, where they charge a percentage fee and they solicit your donors and ask them to make a donation to their platform. And of course, that is to help with the costs of running the platform, the server fees, development costs, all that kind of stuff, but they're going to be asking your donors for a small donation. These are the major sites out there that you can use to raise money for personal crowdfunding endeavors. And if you want to learn more about my book, this is a hard copy here. I go way more in depth here into what you actually need to know. It's also a pretty inexpensive guide, but I go into not only how you should educate your friends, your family, but also how to engage in marketing, a little bit of the psychology behind making a donation and why people give to these campaigns. If you had a lot of questions, this is the book for you. Also, if you are more of a nonprofit organization, you're not raising money for just personal expenses, you're trying to start a nonprofit, this is the book for you. And this is more for the nonprofit organizations in the audience. People who are trying to build out an organization and who aren't having success with grants or traditional fundraising, you can really now leverage the power of social media. You can leverage the power of online marketing. And a lot of the crowdfunding websites and campaigns that I talk about in this book are doing exactly that. It's phenomenal, man. Like, I love it. This is my passion. I love talking about crowdfunding, and I want to just share more and more information on this channel as to how you can raise money using this new medium. If you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and also come subscribe because I will put out more videos on this topic. But this is all I have for you today. My name is Salvador Brigman. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.